Hey everybody, welcome back to Buzzing About Romance. I am Becky, and joining me for this episode is Leah. Hi, Leah.
Hi, Becky.
And Amanda. Hi, Amanda.
Hello.
I popped my bee. I'm going to hear about it when Mike goes to edit this now. You know that, right? I popped the bee.
Mm-hmm. Yes, you did.
I did. It's just, whatever. Happy Sunday. Amanda,
Happy
are you
Sunday.
watching the Olympics? Because I need to talk about skeleton.
Yes, I'm watching the Olympics, and that is, yes, it's extremely sketch. Yeah.
So I can't
Wait, let me say something. So people were talking, I was doom scrolling, and people were talking how there's the two-man luge, but not a two-man skeleton.
Well, no, skeleton's team.
It's individual.
Right, but
But
it's
she means they don't lay on top
No,
of
I'm
each other
saying like
they
they
do
have the
luge.
double luge
Right, well,
when
so-
they're stacked, but why are there not double skeletons?
So I asked Michael that, and he goes, "Well, that'd be really gay." Because
It's
laying
not.
butt to front isn't?
I mean, it's the same thing, just flipped. Like literally.
I don't know.
Like they're just
Too much
rotated.
downward pressure on the areas,
Probably. I mean, it'd be a big, thrust.
you know.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's something.
I still am in love with the lady who was like, a lot of these Olympic sports feel like your friend got drunk at 3 a.m. and said, "Hey, this would be fun."
Yeah.
And
Did you? No, go ahead. Finish your thought.
No, I'm just saying, I believe that because who said, "Hey, let's put on some leotards and run down a hill and jump on the sled head first on the ice and see how far we go"?
It's not a leotard, though. It's a unitard. It's very different.
It's a leotard.
Did you see the controversy of the curling where like he let go but then touched it with his finger?
Cheaters. And the Swedes and the Canadians,
They were like yelling at each other.
They were going to have a duel. Like I was ready for the gloves
They dropped
to
an
drop.
F-bomb. I was like, ooh, these curlers are intense.
Has anybody else come across the dad of the Olympics? And I know
Yeah.
Amanda's not on TikTok, but
No, but I've seen him. Like, yeah,
I haven't
the
seen
TikTok,
that.
but, yeah.
he's a dad from Ohio whose wife passed away when his teenage girls were 15. And he was on a retirement trip in Europe and decided that he had a week left on his retirement trip and he really wanted to go to Milan and he wanted to do a day in the life. So his daughter, her name is Bex, she got on TikTok and said, "Does anybody need a dad at the Olympics?" And gave the story of how like her dad was looking for somebody that needed content or something because he really just wanted to go. She had already secured him tickets to things, but he just wanted something to do and a reason to be there. And ended up working with the GIST, and became friends with the three brothers that are there for the female, the hockey player.
They
Yeah.
wear like matching suits.
Yeah.
They're wild. Wild. But Bex was sharing on it that he was always a girl dad. They always went to girl sports. Like they're in Ohio, they would go to the Ohio State women's hockey games, the women's basketball games. Like he was always taking his girls to women's sports.
That's
so
awesome.
he was going to highlight all the women's sports. Anyway, he's adorable.
Yeah.
Karen said his phone was stolen.
It
but he got a new
was
one.
Saturday morning, I think, and he got a new one. But yeah, just
I think I've come across him now that you're talking about
but
it.
his daughter is just like, like she shared his backstory. It was really heartfelt, like just the sweetest thing. And I guess she came out to him as a lesbian, and when she did, he wrote letters to the Pope and said, because he's a very devout Catholic, and I know the area he's from, and it is a very devout, conservative Catholic area. He wrote letters to the Pope saying, I can't believe in a religion that won't love and accept my daughter for who she is. And I was like, damn, that's dad goals right there.
Yeah, it is.
So anyway, if you're on TikTok, you should check out the Olympic dad. He's our dad now.
He's
Anyway.
everybody's dad.
He's everybody's dad. Leah, you'll appreciate this. My love of office supplies, right?
Mm-hmm.
Have you met the Staples badass?
just what was shared in the chat today.
Yeah, her name is Oblivion, and she is doing staples, like things you didn't know Staples could do. Like, and Staples is in her comments, like firing her up. I hope Sister gets a raise, because like people were going in. I came across TikToks of people that had gone in, because you can do sublimation, like custom mugs within an hour at Staples. And so they had a special for Valentine's Day, 25% off mugs. So I saw like a dad going in with his kids in a picture to, anyway,
Cute.
it's like wholesome content. I don't know what happened to my timeline.
That's not a bad thing, though.
No, but I do love a good office supply. So,
You do. You have a lot also.
ouch.
Although, so I was organizing some of my boxes to try and make some space in our room to get a little more organized of the things that are not getting unpacked. I have like a whole box full of like pens, like not in like a box, like not a huge box naturally because they're pens, but like I had a lot of pens and
No, I have
different
a lot.
styles of pens and colors of pens. And that doesn't even include like the felt tips that I have at my office, like because I love a felt tip also. But yeah,
I like a pen. I'm a big
I like
fan of an
colored
office
pens because
supplies.
I I like my calendar is color coordinated. Like every person in the family has a color, and then like different projects of work have different colors, and yeah.
Yeah. Real quick, huge thank you to our Patreon members. You're the reason Buzzing About Romance keeps buzzing and occasionally yelling about fictional men or fictional romance books. If you love the pod and want to support what we do, we have a single tier at $5, and that helps us keep the mics on, the episodes coming, and the romance opinions flowing. No pressure, just good vibes, great books, and our eternal gratitude. It's real low key. We're not chaotic or anything.
We are not low key, but it is.
It is. The Patreon is low key. We ourselves, not low key. So we did not have a topic for tonight when we started the week last week.
Right.
I was on the phone with Leah for something for work, and I said something about topics, and she goes, "Well, what's on the schedule for Sunday?" And I'm like, "We don't have one."
Because
I would
we all know I don't pay attention to the schedule.
I would like to say Amanda and Leah both signed up for the episode to be on it without knowing what exactly we were talking about.
Yeah, nobody is surprised by that.
So we were chatting about things like revisiting, maybe retwisting old, topics, or,
Yeah.
and we were going through. So on today's episode, we're revisiting hockey romance. Many of us thought the trend would die down, but instead it's still going very strong. The last time we did an episode that was all hockey romance, Rex, March of 2023. End of February, March of 2023.
So almost exactly 3 years.
Almost been 3 years since we've done a true hockey. Now, we have talking about heated rivalry recently, and we have had hockey authors for happy hours. And of course, I think every trope talk or archetype.
Well, like we did those wedding episodes, and there was like every Kelly Jameson book.
Right. I mean, we talk about hockey a lot. And it's really funny because I was feeling a little nostalgic, just I'm going through my feel season right now.
Within reason, like it makes sense why you're in that.
The beginning, when we started the podcast in 2020, that was our big listener base. That is what we kind of bonded over. That was, the OG listeners. They were really hockey romance readers. So it felt like, hey, you know what? We haven't done this in a minute. Let's revisit it. And Jen Ellen says, I just need any and all variations of Puck to not be in the title. Sister,
did you see her comment before that where she said she has the staple curl blocked for some reason? She's like, I went to see your videos and found out, not sure why, but past me didn't like something.
That's fair. She clicks her nails a lot. She has the really long, and she clicks at your and I'll get over it, but I really like her, so because she's killing it. The Staples baddie, that's what they're calling her. So we're coming into this episode knowing that some of us have read some newer hockey releases. You might not get all the book recs. Sorry, I'm a little distracted. Stanley is like singing the song of his people next to me. I don't know what he's talking about.
That's really funny.
Um,
Stanley, you're such a menace.
he's okay. The snow is melting. It was 54 today. My backyard is a
We had
giant mud pit.
rain.
No, we have mud, and I have super white dogs. Anyway,
They're not so white.
they got a bath today. Ollie came in,
Isn't
his
probably a
entire
lot of
back was
baths?
covered in mud. So anyway, we're gonna revisit hockey. We might not give you all the new book recs, but we'll talk about some authors that are kind of coming to the top a little bit in recent times. And I don't know. I don't want to say years or months. I don't know. One of the things that we were talking about before we hopped on here. Oh, speaking of before we hopped on here, I promise not to be mean to Leah. Recently, people thought I was bullying Leah, and I didn't mean to hurt your feelings.
Why did you need to bring that up?
Well, because I
Nobody
just don't.
needs-
I promise not to bully you, but we're gonna fight about something right now.
Okay, but here's the thing. For everybody listening, the whole thing. Nobody was bullying anybody. Like, it is just the way we are.
It is just.
It is okay. Besides, I do not take the comments to heart. So,
Yeah.
because again, not this weekend, but have been other weekends since that weekend, and I haven't changed my clothes. So,
I mean,
just know their comments did not change my business.
it's just like on Wednesday when we put a giant spotlight on Amanda, and she had to tell J.R. Ward that she liked her
That's
book.
true. And that was
Yeah.
like Amanda's worst nightmare.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
But it was amazing.
Yeah. Those 3 different thoughts that I started and never finished. Yeah, it was good.
But it was still amazing because she is quite the force.
She is the force. So before we hopped on here, one of the things that we were talking about is hockey romance. And I said, I believe hockey romance is becoming its own subgenre of romance. I think it's even outpacing the idea of sports as a, like,
Yeah.
because Leah had mentioned, she thinks it's, at first thought it was a trope. And I think I talked you out of that.
Well, when you give me like the Catherine Moon like side of it, then yes, it definitely is a subgenre, but it's a subgenre of the subgenre. Because like sports romance is definitely a subgenre.
Yeah.
Could we,
And then I think
even-
it just tears down from there.
But could we even arc it even higher? Like, okay, so we have fiction, we have romance,
Yes.
because that's a category of fiction is romance.
Right.
And then genres within romance
yeah.
would be sports,
Mm-hmm.
suspense, rom-com, comedy. And then,
Dark, mafia.
yeah,
like,
the subgenres would then be,
they like tear
hockey,
out from
football,
there.
yeah.
Because it's essentially a giant like triangle.
yeah.
Until again you break it down like in all of the subs, the subs, and then you get to the tropes.
Yeah, I think, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, I think too, like even when we talk, I forget what else we were talking about, probably like romantic fantasy and all of that stuff, when we were doing the romanticy thing. I think this is something similar. Like you could put hockey under sports, but I think that the thing now is you could also put it under contemporary, because there are so many contemporaries that have sports or hockey as a job. Like it's not necessarily about the hockey, but you have so many contemporaries that have a hockey player in it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Those are the hockey adjacent ones that we talk about. So like you can have like a hockey person built into a contemporary world, but if the story itself is focused on the team and the hockey is really prevalent and not just like a side portion of it.
Yeah, and I think because there's so much of that, it almost feels like hockey is becoming its own genre, because you have it within sports, you have it within contemporary, even if it doesn't necessarily have anything to do with sports. It's becoming so
Like your
prevalent
Kylie
in
Kent, you have it in
multiple
your
subgenres.
mafia.
Yeah, so exactly.
So then if the hockey is the job, so we often see, the hockey hero in the off season in the small town, hockey's his job, but really team and sport has nothing to do with that story.
Right.
Would you then say hockey qualifies as a trope at that point?
Yeah, because like if you're going like man in uniform, things like that, like it's
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
job placement is the trope. So I think it is the style in which the book is created, whether or not it's a trope or a subgenre.
Almost similar to like cowboy,
Yeah.
Yes.
Western
right?
versus
Yeah.
cowboy, even.
Yeah.
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 Because when we first started, okay, 2020, 6 years ago, coming in, 99.999% of the hockey romance we were reading centered around a team.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, it was the Carolina Cold Fury, the Vegas Snakes, or whatever Cat Mazzara's is, Kelly Jameson's
Sidewinders, I think.
Yeah.
Sidewinders. I knew it was a snake.
Yeah.
Kelly Jameson's Aces. Like,
Yeah.
we were getting very clear team stories. Like,
Yeah.
each
Yeah.
player on the team was getting a story. And since then, they've kind of like
It's branched out.
it's branched out from there. So, and we're going to go back to that in a minute, but first let's talk about the waves that we're seeing, because hockey, why has hockey got the sustainability here? Because we've seen football, those of us who've been reading romance a really long time. 2016, we saw tons of football happening and coming out. Baseball, I remember 2012, 2013, there were tons and tons. Everybody was writing a baseball romance. I mean, I think there was like a baseball team that went into Harlequin Presents or Harlequin Desire categories. And now we're seeing F1 romances, but I don't think
F1 is going to sustain at this magnitude that hockey does. It's not that basketball, football, baseball don't still get created. We just don't see them in like the mass form of hockey.
so. Why do they have the staying power instead of just being a moment? Like, you know, we know that after Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce came out, publishers were, you know, desperate for football romances. They hadn't bought a lot. They wanted some. We were seeing call outs for that. Authors were debating, should I switch to football?
But they still weren't doing it though.
So, but I think that's fizzled, right?
I mean, there's
Yeah.
still some, but not because you figure Kaylee Ryan had just started putting out that new football series. Like, and it's not that they're not there, but I think part of the thing is hockey played into the romance side of it so much as well. Like they really like took advantage of it. And the other sports have not done that in the same way. And I think that is part of the reason that it has boomed the way that it did, because they really played into it.
The NHL,
I mean,
you mean?
and then
Yeah.
the NHL. And I mean, there were some big missteps along the way, but they
Sure.
still were very invested in like the romance side of it as well.
Well, and I'm going to say it because Jen Ellen already brings it up a little bit in the chat.
Yeah.
Hockey romance is a predominantly white sport.
Mm-hmm.
And so it is easy for white women to write these books.
Yeah.
And, you know, we're seeing, you know, you talk about like some of the hockey teams really embraced the romance, readers have really encouraged it. And, you know, I think the popularity absolutely of Heated Rivalry helped that for sure. But I think overall, books in general seem to be having their moment. And I think everyone, every sport, every store, every retailer, every industry is trying to figure out how to tap in to books.
Yeah. That's true.
Because I was talking to my friend Melanie, that's the professor at the university, and the very first year she offered romance, creative writing romance, she had 8 students. This year she had 14. And they're expecting her, they have it in there if, you know, potentially she could be offering a second session of it in the fall. So she would be teaching 2 classes of the same thing. And which is interesting, right? Because what's changed in 2 years other than all of a sudden reading is popular.
Well, I think part of it though is the fact that there's been so much of the distribution deals in the past 2.5 to 3 years. And so
Yeah.
different styles of books have been ending up in people's hands. Like people, because it's more visible. It is a case where it is like, because you figure right now, a paperback, a hardcover, that is what people are consuming more
Yeah.
than the ebook. And the visibility factor has made the so people are seeing those styles of books. And it's not necessarily like the hockey books that they're seeing, but they're seeing books that then like bring them back to the rest of the genre. And I think that is a big part of it. Because when I walk through Target, like at the end caps of the registers, there's like a slew of romance all the time. And that wasn't there a year and a half to 2 years ago.
No, and so as far as hockey goes, Jenny brings up something. Hockey is an international game, which does give more to work with beyond the US, right? Like, so if
Yeah.
we're writing American football, it's really US based. Now, basketball does have a European league, but it's not really
Well,
international as far as the league itself.
no, and you figure football, like there's Canadian, like the Canadian League, there's the NFL, but no place else football is football. Like
Right.
American football is the only, like everywhere else in the world, football is soccer.
So I do agree a little then with Jenny here that the international aspect does allow for more opportunities. You can also twist to make a story a little more unique too, right?
Yeah. Well, because
I
you get those
also,
occasional
oh,
like green card ones. Oh,
oh
sorry,
yeah.
Amanda.
Oh no, I was just gonna say I also read something and I forgot to write down where I read it, but one of the things that I read was that also that it's visibility is high, like the public visibility is high, but it's not necessarily as overwhelming as some of the other sports. Like
Yeah.
in the US especially, because you get the NFL players, you get the NBA players, even the Major League Baseball players to a certain extent, they're celebrities. Like you, even if
Hmm.
you don't watch it, you know what a lot of those guys look like, right?
Yeah.
And I watch hockey off and on. Like it's not like my main sport, but I don't know what a lot of them look like.
Well, true,
And I
because
think I think that may play into it a little bit. It was like it was interesting to read. I was
So
like, oh,
do
I
you
didn't really think
think
about that.
hockey lacks the commercial visibility
mhm.
for the individual players that say football and
I mean, you have the big players who like people know their name. Like
Yeah.
if you say Sidney Crosby,
Yeah.
everybody knows who he
you
is and
know
what he
their name.
looks like.
You know their name. I know the name, no clue what dude looks like. Wayne
Yeah.
Well,
Gretzky,
but
Well,
yes,
I
but
mean, yeah.
But hockey as a whole, like I live 15 minutes from the one of the Penn's like facilities, which somebody got engaged at the facility. Like the guy is not from the area, and Sidney Crosby was like driving home and like sat in like in the parking lot and watched them get engaged. But anyway, but they will go into the Target that is like right near the like thing, and I don't have a clue who any of them are.
yeah,
Yeah,
their
exactly.
uniforms kind of help, and they are not as face forward.
Yeah.
Mm-mm.
And I've not watched a televised NHL game in a very, very long time. I might have a couple years ago, but it's been a very long time. But you know how, like, in the opening rolls of a football game, they'll be like, I'm Tom Smith from
Yeah, they
the
don't do
Ohio State.
that.
Yeah.
I don't think the
Yeah.
NHL does that.
Mm-mm.
And then that's the other thing too,
Well, and
is
baseball
like
doesn't either.
with football too, you also get like I know a lot of these players from college. Like I've known what they look like since they played college. Like college
Yeah,
football is very
college.
visible here too. So it's like I think football lends itself to that kind of celebrity. And then, when we do football books, you have a group that kind of stick together. You have the quarterback, maybe his offensive line, his wide receiver,
But
his
I
running back, and then you
but I
have your
will
defense. But
say,
hockey is like a team sport more, I think. And I think somebody
but
said
I
that in the
will
chat too.
say,
Stacy did,
if
yeah.
you
Yeah.
really look at it, there's a lot of college football books.
Well,
But
Yes.
but we don't necessarily read the college books, and so that's why like but college football, there are a lot of
Yeah.
books, but it doesn't get the type of attention because they are new adult.
if we also think about hockey this way too, there are a lot of smaller teams in smaller communities, not pro teams, but they're
Yes.
the feeder teams. So like Toledo has the Toledo Walleye that feeds
Yeah.
directly into Detroit Red Wings.
Yeah.
which
the
feeds to small town.
right.
Yeah.
Well, so Finley is getting what they're calling a semi-pro hockey team that will feed into the Walleye.
Oh, so even
Oh, so
smaller.
So even
it's like
Okay.
smaller. And like, Finley's like our county is maybe 120,000 people.
Yeah.
But we have an ice rink because we do have a hockey program, and Bowling Green has an exceptional college hockey program.
Yeah.
So like,
Well, it's almost like baseball where they have different tiers of teams. Like they
yeah.
have like double A, triple A,
Yeah.
and then it's like MLB.
But a lot of colleges that used to have hockey teams have gotten rid of them because it
Yeah.
was so expensive, ice time, practice facilities.
Well,
I mean, Finley had a hockey team and they ended up but BG still has one, but so many others have.
but Karen makes a good point. The NFL is making college or like the college leagues make college players well known before they get into the NFL.
Yeah, 100%.
Because you figure like
Well, that's that
Fernando,
new.
like everybody knows his name. Like granted, like he won the Heisman and that like whole thing, but it's like people have known his name for a couple years because there's such a televised side to the
Well,
college
but it's that new
football.
policy, that NIL, where
Yeah.
they own their likeness and can become more like
They can get paid now.
they can get paid for stuff and sponsorships. They don't have to keep
yeah, and
amateur
before
status.
all that money went to the colleges.
Yeah.
Like anytime they were using them, promotion, anything like
Yeah,
that,
because
they
they
weren't
got in a
getting
lot
paid
of
for
like
that.
they could get kicked
Yeah.
out, like kicked off the team if they got caught getting money
Yeah.
before.
Okay,
I know, I love Fernando.
so we kind of touched on it a little bit. Hockey romance just isn't one thing anymore. It's not just team stories, right?
Yeah.
You have authors expanding it beyond the original formula.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean we love it.
No.
Doesn't mean we're picking those up. I think my favorite is always going to be the team dynamic ones.
Yeah.
I
Same.
am forever going to love Cold Fury. I am forever going to love those Chicago Aces and the New York Bears
Vengeance.
and the Boston Hawks or whatever, whoever. Lise Faber, her Goldens.
I mean, really, any of Elise's
Any of
hockey
Elise's.
series.
But
There's so many.
But I'm going to love those team dynamics first.
Yeah.
So one of the things that we have seen since the last time we covered was the increase in the why choose hockey.
Yeah. Really just the increase in the why choose in the contemporary side in general. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah. But
I mean, why choose in itself has had a big boom.
It has, but we've seen a lot of hockey why choose.
We have.
And, years ago we used to joke, like with Sawyer Bennett, we would joke and say, well, what if there were, a couple of guys in the locker room that, had a girlfriend together? And she's like, no, I don't see that happening. And then we have Emily Rath, who comes out with hers, and there's Emma Fox. I mean, there are countless others. But those feel different, even though it's a team, right? Like the Emily Rath ones are the Jackson Rays, and the Emma Fox ones are the Chicago Racketeers. Those still feel different.
Yeah, but
because they're not always all hockey players.
Well, and I think that's the thing, like with Emma Fox's, like there's maybe like the one grouping, only one of the guys is a hockey player, one is the owner, one is like a business
Team doctor.
But they have multiples, so like there's different dynamics, but only like one typically of the guys are the hockey players. So it's like you have that hockey side of it, but then you have all these other pieces pulled into it as well. So it does change the whole dynamic.
Do you think
the story?
Do you think the fact that, so like we have seen in things like football and baseball, the rules feel like they change or get additions added to them every year, like penalties or replays?
Well, hockey stuff, it changes too, because like they've added sudden death, they've added replay, like
Okay, so
replays
it
have
does.
adapted. Yeah, it's continually changing as well.
I think all sports are at this point.
Are they? Because hockey just feels the same. Like I feel like I can
it's
pick up a
not,
book that
though.
was written in 2014 that's hockey, and it still feels contemporary.
Yeah, but I think it's the way in which the rules have adapted. And like, I mean, like I said, the sudden death and like overtime stuff like that, like has been like 10 years now, but not a lot of people write it into the
Right.
stories. And I think part of it is like you can still take liberties while still keeping to the heart of the sport.
So we see lots of hockey heroes in small towns. These again are some of my least favorite ways.
Well, it depends on how it's done.
I just
At that point, it's not a sports romance to me.
yeah.
That leans more, that's a
Yeah.
trope. That's his
Well, that's
job.
true because
Like,
Brighton Walsh has
you
one where he
know,
plays hockey and he comes home to his
yeah,
small town. So it's like the hockey is just his job. Like it's
yeah,
off season, so like
Yeah.
he's not
Well,
playing at
I
all.
yeah.
read
So
that Lauren Morell one, and he's home for the summer. And in the end, they go back to Chicago together. She doesn't
Hmm.
stay, and they plan to come back every summer, but she
Yeah.
moves to Chicago with him.
Yeah.
yeah,
But we've seen ones where, he stays.
Well, like the Brighton Walsh one, he retires. I mean, he's been playing for, I think he's been in the league for like 10 years. So it makes sense that he's like in that like time frame of retirement. But yeah. But I mean, but yeah, Amanda's definitely right. Those are not hockey romances. They're contemporary or whatever like
small
subgenre they
town.
Yeah.
are
Yeah,
With hockey being a
with
trope.
yeah,
hockey like as a trope because it's a hockey, it's a job,
Yeah.
like we said, because like the way in which the book is styled depends on whether it is a hockey romance or not.
And I actually had a conversation recently with a client. She was kicking around a hockey series in a small town. And I'm like, it doesn't work. If they're professional players, they cannot live in a small town unless it's like they live in New York City but are living in Long Island. But I don't even think it works in a town like Denver. You
I mean,
know,
it really kind of depends because, like, a lot of the players for the Pens, they don't live in Pittsburgh, but they live in the burbs of Pittsburgh. And so,
right.
like, some of them, like, but it really kind of, but I wouldn't say a lot of the suburbs are really small towns because the suburbs are
yeah,
like big. Like, a lot of the football players live in Wexford, but Wexford is not a small town. Like, I live in a small town, Wexford is not,
Yeah.
but a lot of
yeah.
the
And I think
Steelers
that
live
goes
in
back to
Wexford.
like, what are you calling a small town? Like
Yes.
we did the episode and we talked about what's
It's
the
true.
population, what's, does it have an
Yeah.
airport, so at that point it's really like, what are you calling a small town?
Yeah.
Because I think you can do those hockey books where you have like them live in a smaller like suburb of a larger city, and I think you can make it feel small
Like
town, but
Samantha
it's not.
Whiskey, like
Yeah,
Samantha Whiskey, her Seattle one, they all lived in the same like
yeah,
plan essentially. So it's like it had this small town like vibe to it in
yeah,
the sense where like they all lived in the same area and like were neighbors, but it was not small town because it was a like a
yeah.
plant, like a development in Seattle.
Yeah. Well,
But she never classified it as small town either.
she does that in her Carolina series also.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of authors do that, and I think it works. Like you can say small town vibes,
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
whatever, the even the found family, the kind of community situation, but I think you can get that without calling it that.
I really struggled, and we've talked about this series a couple of times. Gina Azee, she took her Boston series and spun it down to a Tennessee series, but she
Yeah,
didn't place the team in Nashville or even Memphis. She put them in Knoxville. And if you go to Knoxville, it's a college, and then it's Pigeon Forge and Gatlinburg. Like,
Yeah.
it is not a big metropolitan area.
no, I'm from Tennessee, so
Yeah.
but yeah, I
And
mean,
Knoxville itself could not support a pro hockey team, a pro football team, a pro soccer team. You know what I mean? Like that's just a lot of pro in
yeah, I mean, you're stretching it there. I mean, Nashville, yes. Knoxville's very, you're limited on area. Like,
Hmm.
you're easily out into a suburb
Well,
at
and
that
you
point. I
like you would
mean,
have to question if the league would even like approve something
well,
like
because
Knoxville.
probably not.
Columbus has the Blue Jackets.
Yeah.
Knoxville and Columbus are very similar, except Columbus does have sprawl because we don't have mountains. We are
Right.
flat. and they're buying up, cornfields and stuff like that. And Cleveland has tried for years to get an NHL team. They've tried for years, and it's always, well, you've got basketball, you've got football, you've got baseball, but would you really have space to put an arena somewhere that's, I mean, if the Browns move out by the airport, then yeah, you could just have one right there on the lake. It's delightful.
The Browns left once, they can leave again.
Right. But also the way that like Gina writes that, she tried to get this small town vibe, but it was only a 5-minute drive into the arena. No, not in Knoxville. At least not the parts in Knoxville.
You're not going anywhere in 5 minutes in Knoxville. I can tell you that.
Oh. Another thing, Bonnie says, because these pro players haven't lived in that town since they were 15 or 16 in reality. And she's not wrong.
Yeah.
Okay, so some other iterations of hockey romance we've seen. One of our current favorites, Lindsay's a little obsessed with, is Erin Nicholas's her bonkers hockey. I don't know what else to call it, because that's what we've been calling it.
I mean, it's a Savannah Bananas meets Parks and Rec, and
but hockey on ice.
Yeah, but on ice,
which is fun. I would love to see more iterations of sports romances that are just a little bonkers like that.
Honestly, I want to see that in real time.
Well, go to a Savannah Bananas game, friend.
But I want it on ice.
And then there are a couple of people. So AJ Truman has a beer league hockey. So the everyday guy. And there is a team. It does have a team vibe to it. But they have other jobs too. But I would classify those as hockey romances even more than the small town ones. Because they're like in the city.
But it's a different feel, because for beer league, it's a bunch of dudes coming together to play hockey, but they're still living their lives. It's like they're playing games at 11 o'clock at night when they can get ice time.
Right.
You're getting the team dynamic there, right? So I think that's a big important part for the hockey with me is you're getting one book and it's one player, you're getting another book and it's another player. You're not going from the hockey player to the fire chief to the whatever. I think that's
you're going around the D line and then the goalie.
I think that's a defining characteristic for the hockey for me. If you're getting different players, regardless of whether it's beer league or it's banana league or whatever you want to call it, that's still,
we just need multiple players.
The sport is still a main part.
The series,
you're getting that team dynamic.
The series needs to feature a different team player or a different person that is relevant to the hockey, to the team as a whole.
Even if it's the coach or the manager or whatever, I mean, in a beer
the
league,
doctor,
a rink manager,
really.
But they have to be connected to the team, immersed in the team.
Yeah.
And I think that that's a really good way to differentiate between, is this a hockey romance or does this just happen to have a hockey player in it?
Yeah.
So I think that that's a good way to kind of help categorize those. So let's talk book recs. Is there any hockey romances that you have read in the last couple of years, authors that you were surprised by? I really have enjoyed Lauren Blakely. Her books are chunky.
They're so chunky.
They are very chunky. But I've really enjoyed her current series that she's been doing, the Seattle Sea Dogs series. I really because she has a really good balance of hockey. Each book is a different hockey player. So she does a really good job of balancing hockey, but also her shenanigans, rom-com funness. They don't all feel the same, but they are chunky.
Yeah.
That's the nicest thing I can say. They're just, sometimes I wish she'd cut a couple 100 pages out. I am liking the Toronto Terror series that Helena Hunting is writing right now. I didn't love book 1, but I have the final book in the series that comes out later this month on my Kindle as an ARC, and I'm really excited for it. They're not as crazy as the Pucked series. I mean, that first one was, but the others haven't been. There's some moments in it I kind of am like, did we really need her to peg him? Like, why was this in that?
Yeah.
It felt like there for shock value, but I am enjoying those books. Leah, did you read the Ainsley Booth?
I did. Yeah, and they're good because I mean it's a solid story. The hockey is correct, which is a big thing for me. I've enjoyed what I've read so far. Um, and then Sienna Trapp, who like she's writing Mafia now and has done Small Town, but she has a small hockey series which actually spun off into her Bellini series, which is the Mafia series she just finished releasing. They're not bad. Like there's she's been writing for a little bit, and there's something about the stories that I don't always love, but I think her pacing is a little bit off. But overall, like the characters are decent, like and things like that. So she's one. And then I read another one, but I can't think of the author's name.
What
I will
about you,
come back to you.
Amanda? What do you got?
I think I haven't read a ton as we've talked about, but I do really enjoy Piper Rain's Nest series. Like that's
Mm.
been probably, we read those for Sip and Discuss and everything, but I do enjoy the way they write, all of their sports stuff. Like those are solid for me.
Kate Meador's new
Yes,
this
so
new
good.
Chicago
So
Rebels,
good.
so good. I think there's a new one that comes out on the 26th or the 27th
Yeah,
because I
it's
think
next
she's
week
an end of
sometime.
the week releaser. Mary Carr has written a hockey series.
Oh
I
yeah.
didn't love book one. I haven't read book two yet. Um, book one was just it was friends to lovers, and we know that that is something.
I mean, that's never a good thing to start on
Uh,
a series with you. I've read B.H. Nicholson, her Frozen Flames book. That's the one I was trying to think
Oh
of.
yeah.
So it's he is the coach and she like his and like he is married, but it's a marriage in crisis story, which I really enjoy those or I
yeah,
really hate those. But this one was done well because it was basically like these two people like just passing ships. Like he's so invested and she asked for a divorce and all those things. And it's just them like realizing and learning the balance of having that. And then that series did continue with some of his players. I have not read the rest of them, but I did really enjoy that book one.
Danielle likes V.H. Nicholson a lot, so
um,
Yeah.
Holding by Alexander House. If you, so, one of the things that I do think is interesting is we are getting some authors of color
Mm-hmm.
writing hockey romance, which I'm here for it. So
Yeah.
Alexandria House is her series. It takes place in St. Louis. Chef's kiss. Like
Well, I
read
mean,
them. And the
she writes a
audiobooks
solid book no matter
are
what.
phenomenal because it's
Does
Wesley.
Siobhan do those
Yeah,
ones?
it's
yeah.
Wesley
Or
Siobhan.
Wesley Siobhan?
Yeah. And then Jocelyn Soto, you
Hmm.
know,
Mm-hmm.
the hero in the second book is Latino,
Yes.
right? The
The
heroine in
red line. Yeah.
Red Line.
Yes.
I'm sorry, I will
I
not mess with
couldn't think
those.
of the name of the book.
Well, those are like, those are Amanda's, like, she loves those books. Like, you know,
Mm.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, especially book one, because accidental pregnancy is like not my favorite, and I love Blue Line so hard. Like
yeah.
I like love it. But
It's
yes,
true. You do steer clear of those usually.
Yeah. But
but
there was
I
something
love
about
that
that
book.
book. It worked.
Jocelyn writes a really solid story.
She
Yeah.
does.
So
She does.
Did you see she's like teasing that the book is going to be coming out sometime soon? The next one?
Okay.
No, but like I think it actually is this time.
We've
We'll have to message her, be like, is this happening for real?
we've seen hockey enter into a little bit of the dark romance too. Well,
Yes.
oh
Kylie Kent, I don't know.
So Kylie Kent's are mafia with hockey players. Like,
but that's
Yeah.
their
but
job.
here's the thing, and this is something that Becky and I have talked about since we've read them. You do not go into this book expecting the hockey to be correct. You go into it expecting it to be amazing because it's Kylie Kent. And the hockey is just a side element.
The last one I read where there's like the Stanley Cup playoffs and there's like a shootout in the middle of the playoffs. I was like, really? Really?
But
You
again,
have to
you don't
suspend
go
a
into
lot
the
of
stories for
belief.
the hockey.
You suspend a
Yes.
lot of
Karen says
reality.
she thinks, yeah, well, but Karen says she thinks Victoria Denault should be talked about more.
Yes.
I agree.
I agree. She's one that doesn't. And she's now currently the series that she's writing is more family forward
Mm-hmm.
than team forward.
Yeah.
But I do enjoy Victoria.
Well, in CR Jane, you have the stocking and the over the top stuff there.
The Claire Contreras
Yeah.
one.
Oh yeah, that one's
Until
good.
is it Until I Get You?
Yeah, until I
Yes.
get you.
I worked at the bookstore yesterday because
Yeah.
they had just for a couple hours in the morning, they had the book limo that came in, and I was helping
Oh,
Britt.
that's right.
Anyway, I sold 4 copies to people just by saying, "Well, he stalks her and then blackmails her." So, like,
There you go.
We like a good stocking.
You do.
and the C.R. Janes, yeah, there is something the way she writes those books that yeah. One
I
of the
mean-
things, and we talked about Lauren Blakely's being chunky. Like, I actually really liked Becca Mack. Like, I enjoyed the story.
It was just too long.
It was
Well, and only one of those books has a hockey player. It's like it's not a hockey series.
It's not a hot because everybody like if like I was just doing some searching on Instagram
Yeah,
and
she always
hashtags,
comes up as a
she
hockey
comes up as a
author.
hockey author.
I don't think so. Like I actually like I haven't read them all, but I'm pretty sure like not all of the books are about hockey players. I
Okay.
think it's really just Breathe with Me. Maybe I'm
gonna
wrong.
look
Maybe I'm
because I'm
wrong.
curious.
And I
Look
really
now because I'm probably wrong.
part of my problem is as I read that book, we're on the 6th back and forth moment, and I just want to be like, you
Okay,
didn't
book
need us to
one
tell us
is
all these.
hockey.
Okay, then I'm wrong. Maybe I'm thinking of something else
That's
then.
Oh
okay.
no, book 2 is hockey.
Okay. Ignore
Book
me.
3, yeah, the whole Playing for Keeps series is hockey.
I'm thinking of something else.
That's okay. I struggled with it because it was overly long. And as an editor, you can go back and forth 6 times, but you can infer it without having to show it to me from top to
Yeah,
bottom.
like it's 465. Like book 5 is 465 pages. That's too much book.
It doesn't. Anyway.
And as somebody
But-
who is having a really hard time finishing a book right now,
Yeah.
there's no way I could do that.
That's
Yeah, it
my.
is the same conversation over and over again, then very little side stories that didn't lead anywhere.
Is it Avery Keeland?
Yeah, Avery Keelan, hers is it's long and wordy, but I will say, like, after talking to her and learning she was a Wattpad author, it made sense.
Right.
Oh.
Because
That's how she got her start. Like, she was a paid Wattpad author, and this was one of her, like, her Offside was one of her Wattpad stories. So the length of it and, like, the way that it played out, it definitely made sense
yeah.
that's where it came
Right,
from.
because
it
you make
definitely,
more
like,
money for the more episodes than you do.
and it was just ongoing. But
Yeah.
like, and honestly, like the writing and the storyline, I really enjoyed the characters. It just was so much book.
I don't love.
Like I just didn't need all the breakups and all
Yeah.
the coming backs and all the things. Like,
Well, and there are some staples. We haven't said anything about Natasha Madison. She,
mhm.
writes a very solid hockey. But I guess, would we say it's hockey, though? Because that's much more a family series that's a hockey dynasty than actual.
Well, but
because we don't get
there
all the
are a lot
team
of
members.
hockey, but there's a lot of hockey players. So I think with her, it's one of those ones where you have to question it because like
Yeah.
a lot of the family does play hockey, but they also focus on like the ones that don't play hockey, but those ones aren't technically in the hockey series. They're in
That's
the other
the last
series.
4 that
Like the
no.
way that she breaks them up is
Yeah.
it's usually hockey players,
And
like
then something
4
else.
hockey players, and then she goes and does 4 something else. Like, and then she comes back to the hockey. So it's one of those things where like she has hockey books, but she also has the other. So
And I think the way she breaks it up, you can say that she writes in chunks of hockey. Like
yeah,
I would categorize the groups that she writes in that are hockey
because
players. I would call them
the group
hockey.
right now is
Yeah.
hockey.
Yeah.
Well, except there's usually a one-off where they're not hockey. Like we had the one, uh,
Fucking Nico.
well, he was
Well,
the
I mean,
owner,
he's the
He
so
was
I
an
would
owner.
count it.
agent.
Yeah.
And Becca was the agent. No, I'm thinking
Yeah.
of the next group of four with the
Romeo.
Hollywood Romeo,
Yeah.
and then
Oh yeah.
in that one also you got the doc and the sister that was the social worker.
But I wouldn't call those ones like
But
that.
they were in the chunk of hockey.
But but the way she released them, they were separate. Like
No,
they came
they were in a
after,
4.
didn't they?
No, they were in a 4 because they're in the same 4 with
I'm looking because it's gonna bug
the
me.
one brother.
Well, I would just say that one's not hockey. Like
Yeah,
that chunk. Like she, I mean, it doesn't have to be like every other one, but I'd say the
yeah,
ones where she releases the chunk in the hockey would be hockey.
yeah.
But overall, I mean, she's kind of both. Like she's one of those rare ones that I think she writes enough of it that you can call her a hockey author while also
Yeah.
being like a found family, like contemporary. Like I think she writes so much of it that you can't like exclude her
No,
from
I
that
don't think you can
conversation,
exclude her
right?
at all.
Yeah.
No, not at all.
Yeah.
Well, and the ones that, but like it was only one of them played hockey in that grouping.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's just
Like Xavier played it, but was no longer playing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
it's just one
so
of
it's like,
those that like there are some that kind
Yep.
of defy our own rules. So like Natasha, I would say that's a hockey series. Those were
yeah,
hockey, or the hockey family itself played into that chunk of books. But it wasn't necessarily hockey. Like,
Yeah.
right,
like there wasn't first person player moments.
right.
Yeah.
So
Oh,
Like
yeah,
they weren't on
Karen
the ice.
says,
There was no like on the ice like stuff happening.
yeah, Serena Bowen's another one that does that kind
Ooh.
of. Yeah.
oh,
Her Brooklyn hockey series is real good though. I like it a lot.
The way she intersperses her series, like it's
Yeah.
kind of, yeah.
well, yeah, because she did that with her Moonlighter. He had
Yeah.
played for the New York team or the Brooklyn team, but ended up injured and then goes to work for his father's security firm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So she kind of does that too, where some of the books aren't.
Yeah.
They were hockey players, but they're still connected to that hockey
That world. Yeah.
that
Yeah.
world. Okay. So that's our thoughts on hockey, just to give you a little update. I don't know that we told you anything new that any of you didn't know before.
Well, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if we educated them on something new or not,
No, I
because
think
we
we
wanted
like
to talk about it.
explored it differently than we have
Yeah.
before.
We
right?
did.
So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay. So it's that time.
It's that time
It's that time.
for book
Book
of
of the
the
week. Book of the week time. Amanda, what's your book of the week?
My book of the week is Love for Hire by Nikki Castle. I had an arc of it. It comes out the 23rd. This is separate from her original like MMA series. This is a standalone. It's a start of it's not, it's the first book in a new series that's going to have 3 brothers. So it's not a total standalone. It's just separate from what she's written. But the hero in this one is an MMA fighter, but this is one I would not call an MMA romance. It's his job. This is about Nico and Scarlett, and she is actually an escort.
Oh.
And they
Ooh.
meet because he's kind of lonely. He's getting ready to go into a big fight. He's been dating. Nothing's really been working out. Another person kind of gives him a card for this agency. He meets Scarlett, who is also just kind of lonely. She got into this when she moved to New York City to make money. And, it's just, they're so sweet. Like, I don't even know, like they were so sweet. They were like vulnerable. It was just like, they were so lonely and I was just so happy they got together. I don't know. It was like, I read it and I was like, oh my God. Like, I don't know. It was.
Well, and doesn't Nikki Castle put you a little bit through the emotional ringer when she writes?
She does. And usually it's like she's like ripped my soul out. And it wasn't this. There was like a lot of vulnerability and there was a lot of like, oh, I feel bad for them in a certain way, but it was just, it was easier on them, I think. And like
Okay.
I appreciated it. Like I needed it. There's spice with her being her being an escort or whatever, but and she doesn't kiss. She has the
Oh,
no kissing rule, so a little bit of the Pretty
Ooh.
Woman side of it. I liked it a lot. So it comes out the 23rd on Kindle Unlimited.
which
So
is a week from Monday, people. If you don't
yeah,
have it yet, it's
so
a week from Monday.
it's soon.
Okay, Leah, what's your book of the week?
Mine is a book called Neon Vows by Jessica Gadziella. So she's an author. She puts out a lot of books. They're always on the shorter side. This one, 225 pages. So it was like
Perfect.
my perfect sweet spot. So I will say with hers, like a lot of her worlds are connected, but she actually keeps them very like organized and straight, and it doesn't bug me. But this is Lena's book. She is the daughter of one of the characters from, or like the characters of her MC series, but it's like written separately just in the same world. So Lena is a professional poker player, but she doesn't have a house. She basically like couch surfs like when she is home. And she just is kind of doing her thing. But it's a wake up married, wake up in Vegas,
Oh,
and
nice.
a good chunk of the book is her trying to get a divorce or an annulment, but her husband Harrison does not want said divorce. And he basically tells her no. And he is a billionaire and like owns a company and like but didn't have the best like family life. And it it's one of those books where it was all in her point of view, but I was okay with it. I mean, we did get the epilogue in his point of view, but the way that it played out, like it's all about her growth and like why she doesn't want to settle down and why she doesn't want to like buy a place and like all these things.
Yeah.
And it's like she had a really good like upbringing. Like, yes, she was raised in the motorcycle club, but there was a lot of love and care and all those things. But she just is like unsettled. But then as like at one point she moves into his penthouse and she's kind of messy and she's like, well, I'm gonna make him like hate things so he'll sign the papers. But it's like so it just there's some funny points to
So,
it too. But I just really enjoy her stories and the fact that they are short and sweet.
yeah. Um, Reading is still a little hard.
Hard. Yeah.
So I did go back and started rereading the Men of Haven by Rena Morgan. I
Such a good
did some
place to
Brenda
go.
Jackson category because I'm going to be a Westmoreland when I grow up. A sheep farmer from Colorado or Wyoming is coming to marry me. I just know it.
Mhm.
But I think Rena is so underrated. I don't know why
She really, really
people don't
is.
read more. Claim and Protect. It's Trevor and Natalie's story. He's kind of cowboyish,
I
westernish.
love them.
I do
And
too.
God, anyway, um, just read Rena Morgan, please. And real quick,
Such a good
when we were
story.
talking about iterations of hockey, I didn't mention Lainey Davis's Stag Brothers
Oh
Oh
yeah.
yeah.
because
Well, in her second gen that she's doing
the
now.
last three on her that series, they were all hockey players.
Hmm.
And she shared, and we'll be getting some more hockey from her come
Oh,
spring.
nice.
So, and she's a fan, and she's also like an athlete herself. She plays
Oh
a
yeah.
women's league soccer every
Yeah,
week.
yeah, they do. And when it was snowing, they were like shoveling the field,
Yeah,
not the snowstorm we had recently, because Lainey got all that shit too, because she's near me. But yeah, they were she
yeah.
posted that they were like shoveling like the snow off the field and
And oftentimes her heroines will be athletes too, or
hmm
something dynamic about them,
yeah.
artists, or she
She's
always just
very
has
into
really
like
smart heroines.
yes, she
Yeah.
does.
So, um, okay. So that's it. Those are our books of the week. Make sure you join us back here on Wednesday for our discussion of, I think we're doing The Proposal by Adriana Lack. We're going to talk about one book this month, you guys. I
I
promise.
mean, this is the plan, but it could change.
I
So
don't think it'll
you're not
change.
guaranteed on anything.
I don't think it'll change. I have it on my Kindle, really trying to be good.
It was a shorter one too. I was really happy when this one got
Oh,
picked
was it?
because I think that's the shortest one, so I
Oh,
still have to read
nice.
it too.
Nice. Although, I mean, I did enjoy J.R. Ward, and I'm really looking forward to
Yeah.
Ashley Bennett with, her Muscles and Monsters. So,
But it has been a month.
but yeah. Well, someone said that to me today. They said, really, if you look at last January, February to this one, you really have had a lot of shit between, Mike and
2025 was not good to
well,
you.
and 2026 isn't being any
2026 has-
kinder.
Yeah.
No, it has not been a kind year either.
But it's okay.
Here's to 2027.
It's Lunar New Year. I figure if we burn some stuff and open some windows, maybe that'll take all the bad out the door. I'm willing to set things on fire, Leah, for the chance of just like 2 days of not chaos.
Okay.
I'll get a fire extinguisher. It'll be okay.
Safety first.
Safety first. Make sure you check out our On the Shelf in the show notes at buzzingabout.romance.com. It says that we'll have a list of books, but I don't even know if we know what books we talked about.
Yeah, there's probably not going to be a list for
There are
tonight. There were a
tons-
lot
Check
of
the
books.
transcripts, people. Check
Yeah.
the transcripts.
Well, there are tons of hockey book lists on the
Yeah.
website ourselves in the
Yes.
pour over section. We have stuff over on Kindle or on Pinterest. And I think there's stuff also on Substack that we've put up. Maybe.
If not, we can do
We
that.
can. If you need a hockey book rec, hit us up. If you have
Just
a book
message
or
us.
an author that you think we should be reading, because I did see in the comments somebody asked about Chelsea Curto.
Oh, she's on my list of ones to check
We haven't
out.
read her yet either.
So
but
if you
she's
have
on
a
our
place for us
list.
to start for her, let us know. Because we would definitely like to check out some of these newer authors. Don't forget to follow us on social media for more updates and join our community of romance enthusiasts. We'd love to have you over on the Discord. If you loved this episode, please leave us a review on your favorite podcast platform and share it with your friends. Your support helps bring more exciting content to you every week. Anyway, thank you everyone for hanging out with us for this episode. Thank you, Leah. Thank you, Amanda.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Until next time.
Happy reading, everybody.
Find us on Instagram at Buzzing About Romance or on Twitter at Buzzing Romance. If you like the podcast, please leave a review. If you'd like to support us directly, join the Bookcase and Coffee Patreon and receive exclusive content only available to Patreon members. Check out bookcaseandcoffee.com for our on-the-shelf show notes.